Hi guys, Jen here, and I've decided today I'm going to just do a voiceover video because, like I said, my husband is home and I just can't do it in front of him. Plus the kids were doing school. So today I'm going to show you what you can do to use leftover chili and get a whole new meal out of it. Use up some of the things you may have in your pantry, and my whole family anyway loves this, from the oldest down to the youngest. So I'm taking all the potatoes that I have left and I'm just stabbing them with a fork so I can stick them all in the microwave. Every time I make chili, I make a lot of extra because my family does like to have it for lunch the next day, but that's about it. I could freeze it, and I've done that before, but one time I made these potato skins with chili, and they all really liked it. So it was a good way to get 2 meals out of a batch, not waste anything, and definitely not spend a lot of money. Because as you know, chili really isn't that expensive to make. Potatoes are super cheap, and they're all filling and pretty healthy. So I'm going to take a gamble here and put all of the potatoes in the microwave at one time. I'm not sure how it's going to go or how long it's going to take. Whoops, forgot one. Get it in there, Jen. There's another potato. Get it. Oh, there we go. Okay. So they're all stuffed in there, and I'm doing it 5 minutes at a time. Hopefully nothing explodes. Here we go. Okay, so the potatoes did not blow up. Actually, we don't know yet, but they didn't. I got a pan with some parchment paper out. There's the leftover chili. I'll tell you right now, I probably won't use all of this. There's quite a bit left over, but it's okay because, like I said, they all will eat it for lunch. So it's not a big deal, and chili does freeze well. So if you feel like you just need to freeze it, go ahead. We've got some shredded cheese. Normally I would shred it myself, but that was on sale. I'm setting the oven or preheating it to probably, 425? Yep, 425. Preheating the oven while the potatoes are cooking. Oh, they're done. So they're nice and soft and tender, but not so much that they're falling apart. I'm going to cut each one of them in half and set them on the tray. They're pretty hot. So unless you are used to, burning your fingers like I am and have calluses built up, then you may want to let them cool a little bit longer, but I don't have time for that, and I'm not that patient. So I'd rather burn my fingers than, wait for them to cool. So we're going to chop up all of these potatoes right here. All right, so that's done. So now I'm going to take this jar and put a bag in it. The jar is simply to hold the bag open. I don't like waste. So when I scrape the centers out of these potatoes, I'm going to save what I scrape out in the freezer, because when I make soups, any kind of creamed soup, I will add this like mashed potato stuff. I'll just blend it up and add it as a thickener to whatever soup I make. So it can be used for that. I've also made potato waffles out of it. So you just add a little bit of milk or butter and blend it up and then put it on the waffle iron. But that's not that easy. Sometimes it sticks, sometimes they fall apart. I haven't mastered that. So I think the best thing for me to do right now is just to save the potato for my soup thickening. Okay, so now I'm just putting the scraped out potato skins into a bowl with some olive oil, and just mixing it up and getting them coated with oil. That will help to crisp them up in the oven. Then I'm just going to place them all back on the cookie sheet, face side down, so skin side up. This will help the skin to get browned and crispy, and even the underneath will get browned a little bit, but it also won't dry out the potatoes too much. Don't worry about the size or them being perfect, because it really doesn't matter. You're just going to slap some chili on them anyway, and you won't even notice. I just used all the potatoes I had, regardless of size. Some of them fell apart a little bit, but that's okay. You just kind of push them back together, and the chili and the cheese will hold everything together anyway. So I'm just putting them all on the pan, getting them ready to go in the oven. I will salt them a little bit so they kind of taste like a crispy French fry in a way. So there they are, ready to go in the oven after I get some salt. I'm pretty sure. Let's see what I do. Yep, salt. So we'll salt them up and put them in. Don't be afraid to season your food, guys. It's really not that bad. And this Himalayan pink sea salt is like full of minerals. You don't need a whole lot of it, but it adds a lot of flavor and nutrition. Don't be afraid of the salt. So, gonna pop these in the oven at 425, the preheated oven, and they're probably going to be in here maybe 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. And now you can see they've been in, they've crisped up some on the outside. Again, I don't like to wait, so I'm being impatient. I have to put the camera down because it's too hot to do this way. So now we flip them all over. You can wait, or you could use tongs or, you know, a fork, something other than your fingers so you don't get burned. Again, I'm just being a little bit lazy and a little bit impatient, and I don't want to dirty any more things in my kitchen because every utensil you use has to be washed. All right, so flipping them all over. Now I'm going to take all of the leftover chili, and I'm going to use a cookie scoop. I am not going to use my fingers for this one. I find a cookie scoop works really well, like one of the smaller ones, because it just kind of helps it all to fit right in that little well of your potato more easily, and it comes out a little more evenly. So I don't know. I use these cookie scoops for just about everything. So now we're gonna just scoop the chili right into the potatoes. And it's that simple, that easy. We're gonna fill them all up. So do you guys like make more than one meal out of your original meals? Like, do you use leftovers and turn them into something else, or do you just straight up eat leftovers, or do you throw them out? I think my husband would throw them out before eat. Well, I can't say that. Some things he'd throw out. Other things he'll eat the next day for like breakfast or something, if he really likes it. But after about 2 days, he doesn't want it anymore, which is, I guess, understandable. I don't know if he thinks it goes bad or if he's just sick of it. My kids, they would probably never eat leftovers unless it is something that they just absolutely love. But they don't really have a choice, so they don't complain. They just, you know, have them. But it is nice when you can make something new out of a previous meal. I like that. And I like one dish meals because they're easy. And they're easy to turn into something else. So just filling up every single potato. You don't have to worry if it's spilling out. You know, if a little gets on the pan, so what? And you can stuff them pretty well. These are not like potato skins that you're meant to just pick up and eat like an hors d'oeuvre. This is a meal, so, you know, you eat them with a fork and a knife. It's okay if they're stuffed full of chili. I do serve mine with vegetables because I like my kids to get in more vegetables, but they certainly are packed full of nutrients just on their own. It all depends on how you make your chili too. I guess I could do that in another video to show you how I make my chili, because everyone seems to really like it. I don't think it's exactly the same every time, but it's about the same. I use my chili as sort of like a dump recipe, if you know what that means, or like an everything but the kitchen sink recipe. There's basic things you put into chili, but when I make chili, it's usually to use up things that I have in my cabinet or my pantry so that I can replace them and restock and freshen up on things. All right, so the potatoes are full, I think. I am going back for a little more. Now we're going to take the cheese and just sprinkle it on top in, whatever amount you think looks good. I mean, keep in mind it does melt and spread out, but, most people like it to be a little on the cheesy side. So, not only that, I want to use up this cheese. I don't normally buy pre-shredded cheese. I've said that before in other videos. I'm not a fan of what they add to it in order to keep it from clumping in the bag. But over the holidays, it did make things easier to have pre-shredded cheese for certain things I was making. This happened to be on sale in a nice big bag, so I caved and bought it. It was just a better price and made things easier for me over the holidays. And I mean, it's not like the end of the world. I just don't like to buy it that often. So we're finishing up the bag, and then I'll go back to shredding my own cheese. There we go. And now we can put these back into the oven. You can see it's not perfect. I can see we might need a little more cheese on that guy. I hope I do it. Oh, there we go. So you just want to make sure they're all evenly covered. Stick them in the oven, again, at 425. I mean, it is already cooked. Everything's cooked, but I did put the chili on it cold. So that needs to heat up and the cheese needs to melt, but there it is. So I think I probably left it in there just a few minutes, just for everything to heat up. Top it with some sour cream and that's parsley there just for some color.